Okay, so today we are going to be working on our clay missions. This is a three-dimensional building rollout project. Sounds more complicated than it is, I promise. So when you are cutting your clay pieces for the students, they are going to get big hunks, much bigger than any other project, because they have to roll out a lot of clay. So let's see here. And if you're not sure, give more. It can always go back in the bag if it doesn't get used. Let's see here.
So if you're doing the mission project, you would get 2 bags of clay then?
Yeah, I think that's a good call because mostly it's just 4th grade and they have more students. So I think that feels like a good size to me, but you can always go bigger. Now we pass out, for this project, you're going to need the clay thinner, obviously rolling pins, the mission stencils, which will be a bag, toothpicks and knives, and dishes of water. Now remember, don't pass anything out except for the mats or the boards. Do the example in front of the class, and then you can start passing out clay and rollers only. And each step through, you can give them their next tool. So you're going to pass out the clay, and you're going to have them put it on their board or their mat and start rolling it out. Now with the mission, you want them to start with kind of a cylindrical shape because one of their stencils is very long. They're going to have San Buenaventura, San Gabriel, San Diego, or San Miguel. Those are the 4 options that we have. Unless the teacher really wants them to do a specific mission, I usually just put a couple of each on the table and let them kind of choose which one they want to do. So, long cylindrical shape, roll and flip. It's very important, especially with fresh clay. Fresh clay can be so sticky and it really can stick to the boards of the mats. Now, when teaching the children how to roll out the clay, remember to always start in the middle and rock back and forth. If you start on one end and push down, you're more likely to create a very thin piece on the end that'll break off. So if you start in the middle and rock back and forth, and then pick it up and flip, and go in the other direction, kind of widen it out, flip again, and just keep doing that until you get the desired thickness. Now, because the missions are so long, and because they're going to stand up, we really want to make sure 2 things when we're doing this. We want to make sure that the thickness of the clay is right, and we want to make sure that it's an even thickness. So when you're rolling it out, really try to make sure that you're not going and having like waves in the clay, because when you try to stand it up, it's going to be really difficult to get your clay to stand up and stay standing and not try to fall over if you've got maybe heavier clay on top or thinner clay that wants to flop over. So let's see here. I'm gonna go just a tiny bit thinner because my pinky is a little bit larger than theirs, but I want the kids to stop when the clay measures with their pinky. So you're rolling and flipping, and see how long this is getting because you have a nice long template. All right, so yeehaw. All right, that looks like a pretty good thickness to me. So for my pinky, it's about, here, I'll put it back here. It's about 3/4 of the thickness of my pinky. And I picked it up to make sure it's not stuck, because we would hate that. And then I'm gonna choose this stencil. You're gonna put it on top. When they are ready and you've kind of approved the thickness of their clay, you can then give them the stencils and either knives or toothpicks. I like to drop a few of each in the middle and let them choose what's more comfortable for their hands. And then you're going to tell them to push all the way through, because this is like a cookie cutter for them. They need to cut this out completely. Okay. And now I typically pull the clay off from the outside first, because then you don't have your fingers digging in there and smushing down any corners. So now you've got one part of your mission. So pick it up, make sure it's not stuck to the mat, and set it aside. Then you would put this back into a ball, slam it
really quick
times.
on the back side, it looks like you have an air bubble. How would you handle
well,
the air bubble?
Find that out. Let's see here. Let me get this down. Okay, back to a cylinder. All right, an air bubble. Yep, we sure do. You can just pop it and smooth it out. Okay. And then you want to roll out your clay again for your bottom and back. The piece that we just did is the front and the sides. Now we're doing the second piece. And the same rules for rolling out apply. Start in the middle, roll back and forth. Flip it to make sure that it's not sticking to the mat. Try to keep even pressure so that your clay rolls out nice and even and you don't have big waves running through it.
So is this one also a long strip or this is a circle?
This is going to be one of these two shapes, which is going to be the bottom and the back, and then this is going to be the front and the sides, and it's going to create kind of like an open-ended or an open top box. So this one doesn't have to be as long. I mean, it's helpful if it's long, but I ended up with more of a round shape, which is fine as long as your stencil fits. And I'm going to use the square one because I like that one better. And you're going to cut this out. And you know what? I feel like I rolled this a little bit thick. Bummer. Okay, take the outside off. Now you've got your two pieces. Yeah, this one is a little bit thick. You can see that. See the difference in the... But that's okay. For the example video, I think that's okay. So now you have your bottom and your back, and you have your front and your sides. Now, what I would do is have somebody draw this kind of as a diagram on a whiteboard. You're going to score in two separate areas, or two different ways, one on this piece and one on this piece. So on this piece, you are going to score on the face, essentially. And you're going to score on the edge.
Oh my God, you're going to tell me, why is my phone dying? All right, we're using your phone.